It's a casualty with Aman and B. 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 It's a casualty.
What's up, everybody? We are back with your casualty for the month of June 2025, and I'm joined by my co-host, who we haven't seen in a while. Had to make a couple phone calls, a couple texts to ensure that this casualty happened because we made promises at the beginning of the year, and then the month of May came. He went MIA. It's like he did not. But let's welcome back to the podcast, Mr. Aman Adwin. How are you?
You know, one of these days, the truth is going to come out about how Brice has me locked away underground somewhere in some freezer and only lets me come out for whenever I need to record a casualty.
Now, the people on Twitch know that that's a lie, but Papa.
If this video even makes it to everyone's feeds, help.
Blink twice if you need help.
No, but I'm great. Obviously glad to be back. Lots to talk about. And I feel like we haven't really checked in a while, so it's always great to see what's been going on with you. And I know that, like, as far as the reality TV world is concerned, it's a lot buzzing around. So I'm sure we're both going to be busy in the next few months with all of that happening. So
yes. Before we get into all of that, it is Pride Month, and we both are very prideful Black gay men, and I think that it's also important for us to just take the time to talk about that, or really, like, I would love to know what, if anything, you've done for Pride Month, and what does Pride Month mean to you. I think this month on the Purple Pants Premonitions, me and Gary DeAndre really got into such a great talk about Pride Month and like what it actually means for like us Black queer men. And so I just am so curious because I have you in this space, and this is a space that, like, I think is especially curated for us, and our voices and our perspective is what really casualty is all about. So I would love to just know your thoughts on what Pride Month means to you, and if you've done anything special.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I have anything that sounds too much different from what I'm sure you guys have already covered. I think for me, it's just especially with the way that Pride has come under attack recently, and just the LGBTQ community in general is under a lot of scrutiny these days, and the very nature of Pride festivals, parades, celebrations in cities is being questioned. Hypersexualization that is broadcast on the media so much at the time. I think for me, it's important to just ground myself in that Pride is just an opportunity to remind oneself to take pride in who you are, to not be afraid to be who you are. And if you are afraid to be who you are, if you're not along that time in your journey to sort of like live out loud, you can still go and witness the community and take bits and pieces of the community that you like, and try to then the next time be a little bit more of who you are or who you would like to be. Because I think for at least for me, for a long time, I did the opposite. I was afraid. I didn't really know how to be an out gay person, because the story that you would constantly hear was that we had to be in the closet. And if we weren't in the closet, it was always like, you had to kind of like sneak around. And Pride to me is like, no, you can just be who you are, and that's it. You could like the straights are out here just living their life. You can do the same. And that's what I think Pride has always been for me. Just that reminder to have that pride, and not in a way that's boastful, but in a way that is positive towards one's mental health, to have esteem for oneself. Yeah.
I even think taking it a step further, what you said of like how to be a prideful gay man. I think even for us, it's more unique of being how to be a prideful Black gay man, right? Like, because I think that there are so many nuances, and we don't have to get into that today, but there are just so many nuances in the LGBTQ plus community that it's supposed to be a safe space, but it is not always a safe space for our trans community, for our queer and gay people of color. And so the longest time I always had like this weird relationship with pride for a multitude of reasons. One of the reasons being similarly to Black History Month, right? We do just have a month in February that is for Black History Month. However, Black History Month is 12 months out of the year for me, right? There's so much history and so much richness in our culture that it just doesn't, you can't put it in the shortest month of the year. And that's how I feel about Pride Month as well, where like I am a prideful gay Black man, and my pride is just not limited to June. I try to show up with my authentic self in every room that I am in. And I don't just try to show up. I try to show up with authority, knowing that like I know who I am and knowing my worth. And I don't always show up like that. But I feel like that's for me, like what Pride Month is like, yes, it is great. It's such an opportunity. It's like visibility. But like Pride Month is every month of the day, every month, every day of the year, specifically for me. And also just sometimes just like this negative relationship with the LGBTQ plus community, because we know that it isn't really like a community for our Black queers. It really is a white space, and there's nothing wrong with that. Well, there is something wrong with it, but I understand to some of the queer people that may not understand those nuances, but
yeah,
you know, I think you and I were even talking about maybe a couple of months ago, like, well, let's like we should go out, but like, where do the Black queers go out? Where are the safe spaces for the Black queers? Like in Philadelphia, we had a club at one point in time, and that was gone.
Gone.
It's gone. And I always say that I had like this such a unique experience of when I was growing up. I had like two of my like first cousins were gay, and while we were like 16, well, first of all, we should not have been the places that we was at, but nevertheless, like there were Black spaces for the Black queers to hang out, to party. Like they were speakeasies, they were like house parties, they were literally hole in the wall establishments. And I'm just so grateful that me growing up, I had that opportunity to see what Black queer community looked like, what it looked like going to a Black gay space and feeling wanted and feeling attracted, and somebody try and buy me a drink or somebody try and get my number. And I think a lot of us all know, a lot of us Black queers know what it's like when you go into like gay clubs like Woody's. When you go, when is somebody trying to talk to you? When are you feeling desired? When are you like, you know what I mean? And that's just such a nuanced conversation that doesn't happen a lot, but I always love to bring that up because it's such a, there's not a Black queer or a queer person of color that I have not met that has not had that shared experience of like, yeah, we'll go to these gay clubs, but they just don't feel like they're for us. And so when you have the opportunity to actually go to like a club that is for the Black and Latinos, or like, you know, it is for your community of queerness, it is a magical place. Like truly. Have you ever even experienced that?
What do you like? What part in particular? Just
like going to a queer Black space that's like a club or something like.
Yeah. So the club that we were talking about before, Level Up, I've definitely been a few times. I used to try to go once a week with some of my friends where they would have like a karaoke night, because I love to be singing sometimes. So I did go there, but you know, when I was, it was like just as I was starting to get into it, it was gone. And outside of that, no, not really. I mean, there aren't. I know that Philadelphia does have Black Gay Pride, which I think takes place in April,
the end of April, early May, yes.
Which I always seem to miss every year. Then I'm like, oh damn, I missed it. So yeah, it's definitely not something that I have found myself in the position to be in a lot of the time, and I would like to experience that community a bit more, just to like reaffirm myself, because it does get easy to lose yourself in a lot of the noise of pride in general. And it gets, as well as it becoming so commercialized and so corporate now, although this year it's a bit of a different story, as a lot of people have been noticing some of the bigger brands that used to be prideful, as it were, don't seem as vocal this year. But yeah, I mean, I do think that it is just in the same way that it is important for us to have a month that we set time aside to really remind ourselves of our history in February. I think the same has to be said for people, Black people or people of color as a whole that are also queer. We are a part of this queer movement as well. And a
We
lot of
started
our,
it.
yeah, right. And it's important to remind yourself that that you do have space here, that you don't have to just fall in line with everything else, right? And it's nice to have a shared identity with a large group of people, of course it is, but there's nothing wrong with also acknowledging your specific experiences, your specific shared history with other people of color or other Black people in particular. It's important to know where you came from. It's important to know what people went through before you, so that you know what you are fighting for. Like, I feel like that is a big problem with a lot of the gays these days. Like, a lot of the younger gays, like, I don't think that they understand just what people went through to get the acceptance that we have now, and how tenuous and how flimsy it is, and how you have to continue that fight, because right now we're under attack. And I don't think that people really, I don't think it sinks in a lot of the time. Even for me, sometimes it doesn't sink in. Sometimes you kind of take it for granted. You're like, no, we're fine. We've already fought for it. We'll be okay. Like, no one's going to be taking those rights away. It was like, I don't know about that. We already overturned Roe v. Wade. So I don't know if it's that set in stone, right? So I think that
they've
people
already
really have
taken
to
the T out of the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah.
Like we are very much so under attack. Like that's yeah. And yeah, that's why community is so important. And I think that's why this Pride Month, which is why, like, on every one of my podcasts that I've had this month, where I've had someone that is in the community, I just always like to start off with that, and just to start just that conversation, because it's like, yeah, it doesn't feel, again, pride means something different to me, and it means something different to everyone, but it's important to recognize and have those spaces. And again, I just can't say again how grateful I am, going back to like my teenage years, of like having multiple places to go, where I actually felt wanted. And I think that that really kind of carries on into my later years, when I go out and I'm just like, this seems off. This doesn't seem like where I belong. And I'm just so grateful that I have that background. And there's so many people that, like, I talk to that share this common feeling of like, you go to these what are supposed to be safe spaces for queer people, and also a part of going out sometimes is you want to flirt, you want to feel desire, you want to back it up with somebody, like, you like to and like, there's just so many times that people just are like, they don't have that experience, and we know why, because like we just know why. And I always sometimes like remind and tell my friends, like, you need to go to spaces that are for you, like, specifically. And one of the cities that I like, the chocolate city, DC, like, they have a lot of queer spaces for Black and people of color. Houston, like, there are cities that have it, and so I do just kind of urge people to just experience it, just because it is such a different vibe. And again, I'm not talking negatively on these queer spaces and establishments. I think that they are great, and I think they do serve a safe space, but there are just nuances within that
yeah
we need to talk about, and that should
Yeah.
not stay the same. But it is Pride Month, and happy Pride Month. Be who you are. First of all, TikTok is so undefeated. Do you know that? Like, I think the Pride video comes out every year where it's the friend, and he's bringing like the cookie cake to the car, and he's like, "You're gay.
Yeah.
Be who you are, Pride." Like,
Happy Pride Month because you gay and stuff.
yeah. So, oh my God, that creator. This is why I love TikTok and I love like social media and the comments. That creator that was singing that song, he made a video and was like, you know, one of these, put your fingers down if you made a viral video 7 years ago that every year around this time comes up, but you see no residuals or no like funds from that video, and multiple people get millions of views off the video and you've seen no money. And he puts his finger down, and immediately I was like, let me go into the comments. The way the people in the comments were like, sounds like you need a job. They were like, is this a job application? Sounds like, I was like, but like, yes, Miss Mamas, like, yes, sure, your video is viral, but the fact that you are expecting to make a coin, like, somebody said, sounds like a job application. The comments
ate him up real fast. During Pride Month.
Yeah. But listen, sometimes you got to get ate up during Pride Month. Sometimes your community got to gather you. Sometimes they got to say it to you with love, baby. Sounds like you need a job.
Yeah.
And mind you, I was clicking on all, like, mind you, because I don't know about you, but comment surfing or comments, like filtering is like my part-time job. And I was like reading some of the comments and I was like clicking on the profiles and the images. Mind you, it was our community. Okay. It was our community eating him up. And that's why I was like, yes. Let our good sister know that that moment has passed, and yes, you are a part of our history.
Like, this is like, viral videos are not like, you don't get like royalty checks from a viral video. This is not like an album, okay? This is, you had a moment, and like, if you really want to continue to make money off of the internet, then you should have like used that moment to parlay it into creating like more of a following for you, and then like maybe get 10,000 followers on TikTok. Then you could be a part of the creator fund if you can just keep creating more and more videos that do well. That's how you make money off of having that video. You don't just make money off of the video. Like, that's not how that works.
Child, okay, he said it's Pride Month. Okay, mind you, I think he had like his Cash App in the comment. He put like his Cash App in the caption, and then people in the comments were leaving their hashtag, like their Cash Apps. Like, I was just like, y'all just are not serious.
Yeah, y'all are peddling online now. It's getting to a point where, and it's so funny because I feel like initially that sort of like came from a very honest and like good space, right? Like, I think a lot of that sort of started with like back in 2019, 2020, the big racial reckoning that we all had after George Floyd, and then we sort of like the Me Too movement, the trans movement as well, where people became a little bit more well accustomed to the plight of those communities, and you would start to see lots of GoFundMe's pop up for trans women or other queer people, saying like, can you help this person do this? Can you help this person was put out? Can you help them do this? And those started from an honest space, and then it kind of just got watered down into every other day on Twitter you'll see a tweet that says, can you help a trans person do this? Here's the Cash App. And I'm like, okay, but how do I know that this is an actual account for this specific person?
Sounds like a job application.
And it was like to the point now where people were like, can you help and then they would just put the video of Whoopi Goldberg, you go get a damn job. You are abusing the kindness of the community.
Right. And it also stems from, again, kind of taking back to like people of color, these TikTok creators and these TikTok dances that like a Black creator would make, and then a popular non-black person of color would do that same dance and get millions of views and be able to get paid from that, right? So it also stems from like there is a conversation about like your likeness, your all of that on the internet, but like baby, that video is 10 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Get the video and you start posting it. But it is just, we do live in an interesting time. And mind you, I am a little guilty. Don't judge me, Aman. But you know, I don't be sleeping at night sometimes, or I'll go to sleep and I wake up at like 4 a.m. and I'll be on the TikToks, I'll be on these people's lives, and I do feel like, and mind you, I watch the most random lives, the diosphere, I don't even know if that's a word, but the spectrum of creators from race, gender, like all over the place. And mind you, if I'm up at 4 a.m. and you are entertaining me and like you do drop a cash app, I send a little $5. I send a little $2.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I do support the people that I am literally sitting for 2 hours watching them just lay in the bed or talk or play video games or like, you know, so I do try to support.
Me as well. I don't think there's nothing shameful about that. There is a whole burgeoning, and I don't even think burgeoning is the way the economy is here in that. Like, people make a living a lot of the time or an extra side hustle off of online content. We do, you know, so it's like that is a legitimate thing. As long as I feel like as long as people are actually putting in the work and producing a product that I do enjoy, I have no problem. I just sent a couple whatever the hell like emoji thingies on TikTok the other day to one of these smaller creators. He plays video games online, and he's a really cool guy, and he likes to play with his followers. And sometimes I'll hop in one of his streams. I'm like, yeah, I'll throw you a couple bucks, of course, because like I'm here, I'm enjoying your content. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. As long as that person is actually doing something, you can't just like have a video that goes viral. And yes, sometimes it's kind of like similar to like the music industry. Sometimes you're gonna have someone who makes a dumbass song. That song gets really, really popular. And then they get a record contract. Like sometimes that does happen, but that's not everybody. And it's the same thing on the internet. You might have a viral video, it might do well, but that doesn't necessarily translate to you're going to have a career after that in online content creation. That's not how that works. Sometimes you just have to work for it. Like you can't just expect for these things to always be given to you. The world is not fair. Sorry about it. Sometimes people are going to be able to get that stuff without having to do much. Like, you know, case in point is the hawk to a girl. Sometimes it happens. Yeah. And the people that tends to happen to, yes, a lot of them look a certain way. Welcome to the world, you know.
But shout out to our girl Jules, very classy, very demure, very cutesy. She is mindful. One of our trans girlies that actually was able to propel, use that, and she has built a following. She has built Beyoncé, shouted her out. She's met Tina Knowles. She's gotten deals. She bought a home. She's able to finance her transition surgery. Like she's able to, like she's one of the girlies that I be like watching on live. Like Jules is funny. And so like obviously, and she understands that like very demure, very cutesy was a moment in the time, and she needs to diversify her catalog. But like she's still out here putting stuff out, still trying to like, and so like again, shout out to her because we often don't see that happen specifically in our community. But everybody was saying very demure, very cutesy, very like, you know, so it's like you do have these viral sensations sometimes, like Risa Tisa, that are able to, because these brands know the marketing power behind it. And so I love it. Or even like, you know, Brand Flakes in the city of Philadelphia. I love his growth in his evolution of being a content creator, being a gay content creator. And the thing, and you met him before because he was at our party in Philly. But what I love about Brand Flakes is that he is a white gay man, and he is not remiss of his privilege as him being like a white gay man creator.
What's he on TikTok, Twitter?
He's on TikTok. He's on Instagram. He just did a video with Rob about the cast of 50, and that was like such an amazing crossover of like Brand Flakes and Rob Cesternino. But the one thing that I love about a Brand Flakes is that
this guy,
yes, He loves his Black girlies. He's always supporting small Black businesses in the city of Philadelphia. Like, he understands it. And so, like, I be loving me some Bran Flakes. And yeah, like, I'm happy have met him. Like, we're friends. He comes to some of our parties. Like, he's just a real one. So I love a Bran Flakes. Now, mind you, I don't know how we then got here from TikTok to Pride, all of this, but we do have some topics that we do want to talk about. And one of the topics that we have to start off with is the Traitors season 4 cast has been revealed. And it seems like the internet was gagged this past week when they dropped some of the names. Some of our RHAP community is up in here. It's been 20 years since the baby boy Robert has been back on our screens, and he is in Scotland right now. And that's so excited. I think that even the RHAP covering the Traitors from season 1 to season 2 to season 3, it's almost as big as Big Brother and Survivor, and it's such a cool thing to see Rob be able to just build a community of podcasting, and then like it catapult him back into our TV screen, although he should have been on 50. But listen, I'm sure this is going to bear more fruit for him. So I was gagged, even though I kind of, heard a little rumblings, but I was gagged when I saw it, and just so happy. Just what's your thoughts on having Daddy on the Traitors?
Yeah, I'm overjoyed for him. I think that this is long overdue, but things often happen not necessarily when you want them to, but as they should. And I think this is a clear example of that. Of this show in particular that is rising in popularity with each season that passes. I think it's the perfect time to get in on it. I think that it's only going to do nothing but raise the profile of RHAP in the reality TV space, and it's already sort of like been a pillar of reality TV conversation online for the longest time. So I'm just excited to watch him bring his signature irreverent Cesternino vibe to this show. I just think that he's going to be so ready to just have fun, goof off, obviously take the opportunity seriously, but not too seriously. I think that's what I always enjoyed about Rob, is that he's always been the type to just be like he knows what he can understand the gravity of the situation, but he also is just very good at just like bringing levity to any type of situation, and always trying to make people smile, trying to make people laugh, and just have a good time. And I think that a show like this,
is
the perfect show for that to happen, because it's so campy, it's so silly, it's so fun. It's perfect for him.
Bitch, let's be real. I am more excited about. I just want to watch Rob's interaction with Monet Exchange, with Dorinda from the Housewives, with Candace Dillard Bassett from the Housewives of Potomac, with Porsha Williams from the Housewives of Atlanta. Bitch, that is why I am watching. I just cannot wait to see Rob's interaction with these iconic women that I love, like Rob and Dorinda, baby. I am going to lose my mind. Rob and Monet Exchange, baby, like Tiffany Mitchell from Big Brother. First of all, Tiffany and Candace, I hope they get along, because baby, like it is like this is just such jam is going to be out there. Jam with Monet Exchange. You know how Jam loves the drag queens, like Natalie Anderson.
Yeah,
I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous for Natalie, because Natalie is great, but also she is a competitor, right? Like I just already know Natalie's going to be like, I'm not here for the BS, right? And then Lisa Rinna, Rob and Lisa Rinna, Donna Kelsey. It is just like, what is going on? Like, this is now some of the people, like Eric the singer, Maura from Love Island. I know she has a big following. Mark from Dancing with the Stars, Colton Underwood, The Bachelor. Now, isn't he the Bachelor that came out?
I'm fairly certain. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, like I'm just
What a way to
can
get a
y'all just
bag. Go on the bastion and be like, I like the boys.
okay? Well, we knew.
Scam these hoes. I love it. Yes, it's really like Traitors is sort of like the infinity war of reality TV, where just the ultimate crossover, all of these people that would never ever be in the same room normally are forced to be in the same room and take place in a part in a competition against one another that is like rife with paranoia and different play styles and different personalities. How does that affect the game? How does that affect the entire season? Is it going to be Traitors heavy? Is it going to be Faithfuls heavy? Like, it's the way, like the high variance of the show is what I think makes it so addicting, because you just never know what you're going to get with this type of show. Yeah, I'm really excited for Monet Exchange, because she's been such a fan of these social reality competition shows for the longest
Survivor, yes.
time. And so I just cannot wait to see her really test her own her chops against people that are sort of in a similar lane to her, where this is their first time, and versus people that they're kind of seasoned. Ian, like a sweet little baby Ian, like I cannot wait to see him interact with all of these people as well. They should just make him a traitor, to be honest. They should make him a traitor. That would be fun. So yeah, it's just gonna be so fun. I just can't.
Now wait, which one is Ian? Is Ian from Big Brother?
Yes, Big Brother, winner of Big Brother 14, and also
Ah.
returned for Big Brother 22, and got screwed over because Nicole Franzel.
Oh,
But yeah, I'm glad to see him back as well. That'll be so fun, and him and Rob have a bit of a rapport, so that'll be cool. It's so fun.
yes,
I'm so
it's so
excited for Rob.
interesting. It's like, do you want Rob to be a traitor?
I don't know yet. I cannot decide, because a piece of me feels like he would do better as a faithful, because I do think that but I'm also afraid that if he is a faithful, the Traitors will realize that he is good at it and get him out early. So I'm like going back and forth. I don't know. I have to wait and see what the others are going to be giving. And then I just don't know. I don't know, because him being a traitor could be too on the nose, in a similar fashion to how Brice and Rob being a traitor was too on the nose. But then again, this is a little bit less CBS heavy of a cast, so maybe there's a world in which people don't really know who he is that much, and so he can kind of sneak under the radar. But I don't know that for sure yet, because what if there's somebody like Monet Exchange who knows exactly who he is, and is like, yeah, we might need to get rid of him. It's I don't know. I think that no matter what, him and Monet have to be on the same side of the house.
Oh yeah, I agree. And also, it's like, if you think Bob the drag queen carried last season, buckle up for my girl Monet Exchange, okay? And I don't want to say recently, but I want to say in the last like year and a half, before Bob went on the Traitors, like I started getting into like Monet Exchange and Bob the drag queen's like podcast. It's the funniest thing ever. Like, it is like literally, and I have to watch it on YouTube. I have to watch the videos, but like I'm excited. I love it. It's just like, again, just seeing these shows of like people that you actually love from reality TV, i.e. Dorinda, i.e. Porsha Williams, 265 days of the year, Porsha Williams, Candace from the Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, Candace can read somebody. Like it's just like the Lisa Rinna, Jam.
It's so
it's just a lot. So I'm excited. And so of course, we just had to talk about that. Now we do have to get into some more serious topics. And I think we have to 1,000% absolutely talk about and address what's been going on around this country. And more specifically in this past week, the protest in LA, the deportation that has been happening, the National Guard and the military being brought in.
Yeah.
So much to unpack. And I'ma let you pop off, but this is just, I just want to start the conversation off by, nobody is free on stolen land. right? Like I just think I think we just all need to understand that concept, right? Like, so let that sink in for a couple of seconds. Okay. Has that sunk in for everybody? Like, no one is free on stolen land. 2, I understand the immigration process, right? I like, that's the formal process. I understand the process of deportation. I get it. I think that countries need that, right? But in which we are going about and how we are utilizing ICE and this mass deportation that is happening around our country of people in unmarked cars pulling up to people's places of business, to schools, to graduations, and with no, y'all don't have to answer no questions. You just pull me into a unmarked car and I just go into somewhere that's unknown and my family can't get any information. Like, I just need for y'all to think about what that sounds like.
Yeah.
And I'm not comparing this to the Holocaust or anything, but I'm comparing this to, like, I remember reading the book Anne Frank and having guards walk around and you would have to wear your patch of it just all sounds familiar. And if you're going to lead on that these alleged immigrants that are in this country illegally, that are committing crimes, that are raping people, that are robbing people, and we need to get them out of this country. Okay, who's arguing with that, right? But then when you learn that you are going to people's places of business, to their jobs, where not only are they working, not only are they in school, they're paying taxes. And wait, you mean they're paying taxes on things that they will never be able to cash in on? They are contributing to Social Security that y'all is talking about taking, that so they're putting into funds that they will never be able to take out of, and they are still out here working. Like, that to me just sounds a little crazy. And so it's like the way that you describe, oh, they're killing, they're robbing. No, baby, it sounds like we're robbing them. It sounds like we're taking advantage of them. It sounds like they're promoting our economy, and the nerve of you to then go after them. How you're going after them, these aren't the criminals. These aren't the people that are allegedly raping and robbing. Like, they're stimulating our economy. You've got people scared to go to their own fucking graduations.
Yeah.
Like, make the sense to me, because I'm confused. I'm confused. These people are paying taxes. That's my hot take. Not my hot take. That's my fucking take.
It's such a layered, like most difficult problems. There's so much at play here, and I'm not gonna pretend to be any type of expert on the topic. I just do know that the system that we have in place now obviously is not working. And I think there's been a lot of people that have been very vocal about it for a very long time. And this election cycle happened to be the one where it sort of seemed to reach a bit of a boiling point. And look, I understand that we are a nation of laws. We're a nation of borders, like many other nations. I understand that, in the same way that we can't just go to a different country and start just committing crimes or acting a fool. Like, you can't always expect that country is going to take kindly to it. And I think that we should have the same sort of like standards here, right? Like I think that yes, there is a way to enter the country legally, but I also think that that system is like very obviously it's very flawed, it's very outdated, it's backlogged to the yazoo. You got millions and millions and millions of people just sort of sitting in limbo because the system is so far behind. It's like, where do they even begin? So some of them come here seeking asylum. They end up staying here for a very long time because they're waiting for their day in court. And in that time that they're staying here, they're living their lives.
Getting jobs, paying taxes.
Getting jobs, paying taxes. And because the system is so broken, now they're caught in a situation where ICE can just come and say, well, you're technically not legal, so bye, toodles. And it's like, sure, is it like a legal thing to do? Sure, maybe. I don't know the law that well, but is it a good thing to do? No. Like,
is it legal when you deport a U.S. citizen? Because at this point, like, you're targeting people by like race and how they look. Like you're like you know what I mean? And then when you send me back and you wrong, then you're not trying to come get me, like it.
Right. And it's like, how do you guys are talking about like how the system is so outdated and it's obviously backlogged, but y'all have no problem finding those people in that very same system to come and get them. Like, it's like, so you have all the resources to deport people, but you don't have the resources to help them get into the country legally, which is what your main gripe seems to be. It's just, I understand that there is a big problem at the border. I get it.
But is there though? Like that?
Yes, there is. There are a lot of issues with drug cartels. Human trafficking is a very, very serious problem at the southern border. There is a lot of stuff that there are bad actors, right? That can manipulate the already like ongoing crisis in their favor. So I understand that, but that's not the vast majority of people that are trying to get into the country. And I wish that we could all just agree there. But it seems like everyone is just more focused on, well, we got to get the bad ones out. And I'm like, yeah, sure. No one should just be allowed to come into a country, start committing crimes. Like, I understand that on a basic level. I get that. But I don't think that's not when people are talking about the major crisis at the border, they're not talking about just that. They're talking about the people that are trying to get in but can't. That's what we're talking about here. I don't understand why it's so hard to walk and chew gum at the same time, essentially. Why can't we up the amount of resources there? Because it is putting a strain on resources. People are right about that. Like, there are, I think it's like 12 million people that are just sitting at the border trying to get in, and they are understaffed. There are not enough judges there to see all of these cases. There aren't enough holding centers there for people to be treated humanely. That's a problem. It's a problem. Maybe we need to start outsourcing. I like the idea of people that are saying we need to start outsourcing a little bit of the process. Like, there should be embassies more in their home countries where they can start this process, and they don't have to make the dangerous trek over to the States only to be subjected to all of the pitfalls that I talked about before. There are drug cartels waiting to take advantage of people that are trying to get into the country, forcing them to smuggle for them, forcing them into forced sex trafficking. Like, that is a huge, that should not be a thing that is happening. Maybe we should allow people to apply for asylum in their home countries. Then they can, when that gets taken care of, they can come over here. Why is it like, I don't understand like why it's the solution is we're just going to kick everybody else out. Like, that's not that you're not hearing the problem.
Right. Yeah. And then LA, because ICE was, first of all, if anybody knows Los Angeles, LA, like that, the Latino population there is far and vast, okay? And I guess ICE at some point in time had boosted up, and they were taking people unjustly. Like, you can go and like shout out to all of the people that when they see it happening, they're recording, they're getting the person's name, they are like putting it on social media to try to help raise awareness and to potentially locate to where this person is going. And so LA said, oh no, baby, we gonna come out and we're going to protest peacefully. Obviously, anytime protesters happen, just like you said, the small majority of MFers is going to MF. Okay, like that's what happens. But for your leader to say it's an insurrection.
Oh, now it's an insurrection. Oh, okay.
Child,
Okay.
it's an insurrection.
Oh.
And normally, how we send the National Guard in is that, like, gets federally approved. You kind of work with the state government and you figure that out. Baby, they just sent the troops in. And obviously we know the relationship with Governor Newsom and the president is an interesting one. And so they're saying unconstitutionally, the president has sent in the National Guards to help combat this issue that, all things considered, LA was handling. Yeah, if you're having mass people, obviously you're not going to be able to contain it in a minute or an hour, but they were handling it. But we all know what the vibe of having troops on the ground is, having tanks in our cities. It's not something that we are used to, and nor do I feel like the people want, but I feel like it was the president trying to make you F with me, this is what's going to happen. It's kind of like using, and then they called in the military, the Marines. You mean the special force that is specifically supposed to be for fighting foreign, for invade, like, for boots on the ground. Just kind of crazy. And then we see that because I think it was like 12,000, 13,000, my numbers might be off, but like they were deployed without any kind of, hey, let's talk to the state of California. Baby, it's no places for these troops to sleep. It's no food for them. They have to bunker up in shelters and different stuff. And it's like, not you treating the troops like this, not our beloved troops that we're supposed to love and uphold. This is how you're treating them on their own city. Like, it's just crazy. And it's just like the propaganda in which they're trying to spin to us to make it seem like, oh my God, they showing police cars on fire. Shout out to Governor Newsom that came out and said, baby, that was from 2020. Like what we're not going to be doing.
Yeah. It's getting scary, y'all. It's getting scary because people are using the internet and using people's lack of media literacy to confuse the issue, and just spread a lot of misinformation or disinformation, as it's intentional at that point. It's not a little, it's very concerning, because basically with it, like, he did file a lawsuit against President Trump. It got it, the courts are looking into it now, but depending on how they
side, because it's going to talk about it,
it really can, set precedent as to how much power he has, how much power the federal authorities have over the states, and just if the president can basically just declare a militarized state at will. And that's like, that's scary. Like, I don't know, y'all. It's getting weird. Now there have been reports that they're on the way over here too. There's going to be a protest here in the city today, and I'm just praying that like things remain as peaceful as they can be, as possible, because in a lot of ways, I mean, there are people that are theorizing that Trump is purposefully doing this to incite the anger of the citizens, so that he can then say, see, look at all the rioting, look at all of the chaos, look at all this disorder. They need,
this is what I need, this is what we need to come in and do. Or let's not also talk about, and again, I don't have all of the information, but like, let's not talk about the bills and the things that he's been passing that kind of sort of allow him to circumvent the other branches of the government, that like he could just like at will, like there's 3 separate branches of government. And I really do feel like we need to go back to 5th grade, right? Like I really do feel like people like that's the time that I thrived. Okay, social studies, like all of this. Like I was like that gay little kid at the front. I don't know why I just loved all of this, but like I really do think that people need to understand what the 3 branches of our government is and the systems of it. Like because y'all are confused. The point of our 3 branches is that none of the branches are they're separate but equal. None can overvent anything. That is why we are a democracy.
Yeah.
We can't just have the president override everything. It's called checks and balance. Anyway.
I mean, this is why people are saying that, like, you know, education is under attack here. He's attacking how, you know, what types of things can be taught. He's trying to get rid of like all this DEI and, you know, trying to get rid of Black History Month in a sense, trying to get rid of African American studies, like this is the beginning of how you change hearts and minds of your own citizens by controlling what types of things they are taught in school. You are better able to manipulate how they are going to end up feeling about their own politics. The less information that they have, the less access to history that they have, the more likely it is that they're going to become just sort of like drones in a sense, to just sort of go along with whatever their government is telling them is right. And that's just not how, like propaganda has always existed to an extent, but like the beautiful thing about America is that because there is so much room for dissension and there's so much room for skepticism and there's so much room for people to be like,
right.
Like we are able to sort of like stay in a spot where we can still talk to one another. We can still say that's not good, that's good, that's not good, that's not good. But he's trying to get rid of the ability to go, he's just trying to make sure that everyone is just like on the same page. And that's not good. It's scary.
Yeah. And what is scarier about it is that I think most people don't understand is that, yeah, obviously us, our generation, we know, we like, or some of us know, but it's the younger generation. That's what, like, for me, it's like y'all don't understand. Like it's going to come back down the pike. But
yeah, and they're dumb as hell because I just saw a clip of I'm not even going to say the streamer's name, but he's a pretty famous streamer. I'll leave it at that. But he has somebody on his he's one of the young kids. He's one of the Gen Zers. He had somebody on his stream the other day talking about like how he doesn't believe in history prior to 1950. And his logic behind that was like, well, how do we know? Like they're saying that such and such came to America in 1492. No one is alive now from then. So how do we know they're telling the truth? I'm like,
and if y'all only really knew about that said explorer and the fails and the why he like it. Anyway, like
the 1950 part is really what blows me, is because there are people that are alive.
They're alive.
They're here. My grandmother's one of them. She's here. She lived through it. And the stuff that she learned in history class, the people that were alive then when she was a young girl, they were alive then. And none of them said that didn't happen. Books matter.
And books do matter, but also books lie, right? And even like we talk about like oral history, like some of the passages that have been brought down from slavery that are still exist in our own culture is because like they wouldn't allow us to read or write. So we had to utilize it.
Guys, we're effed. We're effed.
Like, it's crazy. I do also just want to talk about this Child Flag Day, aka y'all president's birthday that we have in this military parade. They bringing $200 million for this parade on Washington. Let's just be quick here. Flag Day, which I used to like somewhat enjoy back in the day because it was a random day in June that I used to get off. It's not a federal holiday, but it is a day that Congress adopted the Stars and Stripe as the official flag of the United States, June 14th in 1977. Every June 14th, it's not a federal holiday as most businesses still are open. How people observe it, people fly the American flag, organizes many patriotic events. Just even that word. So anyway, but President Wilson officially established Flag Day in 1960, but it wasn't until 1949 that Congress made it a permanent national observation day. So it's like an observance, like, so it's not like a holiday, but it also falls on said president's birthday. And so it really kind of lends to, if you've seen any of like the dictators of the world or in past histories, what they do for their birthday, it really kind of gives that of like this parade and all of this stuff. Mind you, y'all don't even have enough people to come to attend, so y'all out here on Craigslist paying people to attend this. Not to mention, it is costing us, I think, between $200 and $600 million. Oh,
jeez.
When the price of eggs is how much, and we saying that like, you know, this immigration, these people are draining all of these budgets, and like, well, where's Doge at now? With this wastefulness, it's kind of crazy. But I do want to just randomly talk about this one thing that I saw on TikTok that at first I didn't understand what was going on. But of course, I had to read in the comments. So it is this Mexican man, and he's on TikTok. I'm gonna have to send you the video, and he's literally adding Donald Trump, and he's saying, "Hey, Mr. Trump, thank you so much for my week off vacation that my job would not give me off." So essentially, ICE came and deported him, and so he went back to his country, which I believe was Mexico. He was like, "Hey, like, thank you so much for my week vacation." And baby, did you see this TikTok?
I did.
And he showed on his TikTok him in the Coyote van coming back to America and being back at work the next day. Now, mind you, I was like, what the hell? What the hell? I say? And again, shout out to the people in the comments that were like, essentially, he is taunting Trump and essentially showing how wasteful this whole process is. Somebody else was in the comments that said, "Hey, I had a landscaper that was supposed to finish a job. They literally got deported. They texted me and said, 'Hey, I'll be back next week to finish it.'" The lady said he was back next week with his cousin, and he did an excellent job. Like, is that like it's just like, it's almost like,
it's stupid. It's very stupid, and it's like this it's a pissing contest. It's a demonstration of power, and you know, I'm glad that those types of stories exist. I get a kick out of each and every one of them, but not all of them are like that as well. In the same breath, like some of these people, they get deported and they don't have the means to come back. So it's like, you know, it's not only is it wasteful in a lot of ways, but it's, you
harmful.
Know, it's
they
still
put
harmful.
Back in unsafe environments.
Right. But then you also have like these beautiful stories where this girl, you know, basically she was like, "Come with me to self-deport my mom." And it was a very powerful story about like how the mom had lived there, was an asylum seeker for like, she lived here rather for like 20 something years, had left Mexico. And in that moment, in that time, she had a family. She had, you know, she's leaving behind 2 grown kids, like 3 grandchildren, but she was like, she wanted to do this on her own terms. Like, she decided, you know what, I'm not even going to wait for them to come and round me up. I'm going to go back home. And it was just like a really powerful TikTok. And in the end, like, you see her seeing her own mother, the original poster's grandmother, after 20 something years. And it was just, she has like her own little house now back home in Mexico. She's building up her life again. And it's just like, a lot of people were like, wow, like, she's not being deported. She's going home. Like, she is control of her own narrative. So it's like, I don't know, man. This whole thing has just been so eye-opening for me because I don't know. I think that this is something that's been like on the forefront of a lot of politics for quite some time, but like I think for the first time for me, it's like become so tangible getting to see in real time the experiences of so many of these immigrants, and not even just the ones that are directly below us. These are immigrants from all over, right? Like my job, I'm dealing with one right now that's from Haiti, and he is absolutely terrified of what could happen to him, and he's already dealing with being a part of a crime right here in the city. So it's like, on top of the bullshit that you're already dealing with just with everyday human life, you have to worry about someone just busting down the door. It's just,
Yeah.
and it could be us next. It could be us next.
Okay. That.
Yeah. Hey, I better not say shit to me on the boat right back to Africa. Don't say shit to me, okay? I'm just saying, don't say shit to me, because we tried to tell y'all over and over and over again. And y'all were just like, oh, he's just getting rid of the rapists. He's getting rid of the criminals. He's getting rid of the this and the that. And then there was that TikTok I saw the other day of the lady that was like, the Mexican woman that was like, yes, we support Donald Trump. Yeah. And then like a mere month later, she's like, he used us. He lied to us. He told us that he was going after these people. I'm like, you idiots. We told you.
What I love is after every one of those posts, it always kicks me out is that like, then they have that like Spanish band that's like, I will vote. Like it's just like, yeah. But it's crazy and it's sad. But I also, what do you think of the sentiment of like everyone in the comments, like, Black people stand down, we're sitting this one out.
Obviously I'm of two minds about it, because obviously, you want to continue to be vocal and fight for what's right. But I also understand just taking space. Like, I get it. It's like, girl.
I also do think it's very funny though, because I do see a lot of people, or a lot of because I be on lines, and a lot of people are like our Black brothers and sisters, like, we need your support, like, please, and then the people be like, but wasn't it just a month ago that Black fatigue was trending on the TikToks of like, y'all were using this Black fatigue? Like, it just is so interesting. But again, just wanted to just bring these topics to the forefront, because I know sometimes we just don't shy away from the difficult or hard conversations. I do want to talk about, because I thought this was interesting, and I was like, well, first of all, have you gone to the Cowboy Carter tour?
I did go and see Beyoncé, the living legend, for Cowboy Carter. I took it a lot more. I was very low key this time. I did not spend nearly $1,000 on my ticket this time. I just got myself, I wouldn't even call that a nosebleed. I was still, fairly close. But it was less than $200. I didn't go all out with the outfit. I kind of just like gathered some denim and things that I had already owned. The only thing that I bought was like a new pair of boots, and just, I had my little time, I sat up there and sipped on my little iced tea, and just had a nice little time. It was kind of like sitting on the back porch. This was like my back porch Beyoncé concert. I had a wonderful time. She was fantastic. She made me really appreciate some of the songs on the album that I didn't really. I mean, I love Cowboy Carter, but obviously, y'all know Renaissance is going to be my.
We know.
It is
we know.
It just makes me feel things. It gives me so much pride. It gives me so much joy. It is such a powerful album for me. It is a defining album of my life. And I will always appreciate that album. And it's going to be hard for anything to top. I still believe it to be her best work. And I know that's.
Well,
I know that's a controversial statement, because she has so much. I get it, but it is just personally my piece of Beyonce's artwork that I'm like, ugh. this is mine. It is
If
mine.
you are not watching on the Brice Izyah YouTube channel, it's like literally we can see Aman's body language change, his soul resting when he's talking about Renaissance. No, Renaissance is like, I think for me, and I don't want to get into this conversation with Aman, but no, I think I don't play Renaissance as heavy as I have played some of her earlier work. However, on my way to Cowboy Carter, I was listening to Thick, and I was like, what album is this from? Like, so no, it's just like the album's hit, the album slapped. Cowboy Carter slaps even more after seeing the album. I mean, after seeing the tour, after watching on TikTok that people break down the order in which the songs of this or this. Like, I went during, I think it was stop 4, and it rained and it poured, and I sat in pouring rain for 4 hours to see Mother. It was absolutely beautiful and an amazing experience. I do just want to say this. My one take, and I want to know your take on it, from having seen Renaissance. Was that your first time seeing Beyonce? Renaissance,
yes. It was my first time seeing Beyonce.
So
yes.
My first time seeing Beyonce was on her first tour when she went on tour. I was in high school. When it was like Missy Elliott, was the Dangerously in Love era. Then I saw her with Destiny's Child. Then I saw her on The Run 2. And I think there was like another Beyonce album that I had seen her. So anyway, I've seen Beyonce through all of her arcs of work, seen Renaissance. Cowboy Carter feels different to me, the tour, right? It really, I want to know your takes, and I want to know your honest takes, but this isn't anything negative, but it really, to me, Beyonce said, I am working smarter, not harder. One, like Beyonce is putting on she does her thing, but she isn't doing the things that Beyonce always does. It's like her is saying, like, baby, I've been doing this for 32 years, baby. I'm going to get to the end of that stage. Oh, but I'm going to strut. Okay. I'm going to walk. I'm not, baby, you can't get over. It's very much her being like, I've been doing this for 30 years and I'm still going to give you all a show. And I love that. Like, I love that for her. It's like the evolution of her. And 2, I definitely feel like it is this sense of, she is presenting to the world Blue Ivy, right? Like, I really feel like Blue Ivy can sing, because when have we ever really heard Blue Ivy talk or sing, right? Like, and the Beyonce and Jay-Z are so intentional with like how they are protecting her, how they are presenting her. We saw Blue on the last tour and y'all ate her up, then she came back. Now it's like this tour is almost kind of like, it really is ushering into us Blue, and especially the visuals of on Blue's last Deja Vu little number. The visuals were like of Destiny's Child, of Beyonce's beginning, of like them as children. And then it's like, it almost is, if you are a Destiny's Child or a Beyonce fan like me, you always know about Beyonce talking about Matthew Knowles will have them in the heat in the summer on treadmills doing full out performances. Like, they always talk about the Matthew Knowles boot camp. And I really feel like, wow, we are watching the evolution of the Matthew Knowles boot camp in front of our eyes. I really feel like they are preparing us for a Blue Ivy something. And like, what such a beautiful way to do that. But I do also just say that something about the Cowboy Carter tour, again, seeing how she has scaled back, not scaled back in production or anything, but just has scaled back, makes me feel like Act 3, there will absolutely be a tour. And I really feel like Act 3 is going to be Beyonce's final tour of how we know for her to tour in this grand scam, like this grand scheme of things.
Imani, my sister, she feels similarly that this is like a coming out party for Blue Ivy. I'm less convinced of it, only because I mean, I don't know. I don't really have any like sufficient evidence to the contrary. Like, I'm not basing it off of anything. It's just the feeling that I have. I don't necessarily know if Blue Ivy is really trying to be exactly like her mother. I think
Well, I don't think like her mom, but just like a coming out of like they're launching her. She's too young now, but it just feels like a soft launch of something.
it could be. It could be.
Imani, right? Next.
It
Like,
it could be. I don't know if that's the case, and I don't know. I don't know. I guess we just have to wait and see a bit more as
but
to.
you didn't get that though, like when Blue was literally saying bye to the fans on the stage, and you see the background of like the old Destiny's Child, like the Beyonce, like you didn't like none of that emotion.
Not in that way, no. It
Could you
felt
see
more.
from the seat?
If yes, I could see. It felt to me. It felt more like a. Because the material, the subject matter of the album is very much family oriented. It very much is about her roots in the country genre and just like her roots in performance. Like, she's always been very introspective as an artist, and she's, you know, allowed us to see bits and pieces of her life. And I think that Blue Ivy is just such a big part of it that I think that this is just Blue Ivy's part of a larger story. I don't necessarily see it as it being Blue Ivy centric. And I think that if there was going to be anything that Blue Ivy was going to be doing on her own, I think that, yes, of course, you're going to be out there with your mom, but I feel like she would be like Beyonce would push Blue Ivy to do something a little bit more separate from her. It's kind of the reason why you don't really see Beyonce promoting Halle and Chloe, because she
Halle
wants
and
them
Chloe
to have.
ain't Blue Ivy though, but
They're not. They're not. Well, I mean, as far as singing is concerned, I mean, we just have to. Look. I just feel like if there was a world in which Blue Ivy was a talented singer, I feel like we would. No, because I don't think there's any reason. I don't think there's any reason to showcase her dancing.
But no, because listen, she's in boot camp right now. This is Matthew Knowles' boot camp. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Like, I hear what you're saying, and I'm not trying to push back.
Boot camp does a singer not make. Like, I feel like I tend to believe
maybe
that
she's an all-out performer. Matthew Knowles had them performing, dancing. You gotta have the stamina. You gotta. I just feel like this is Blue Ivy's boot camp, and like, yeah, sure, she might be able to sing. Well, first of all, also shout out to Tina Knowles and her book tour, because Mama Tina Knowles was dropping all of the gems, and Tina Knowles did say that Blue can sing, and that like she kind of wants to follow her
grandma though.
Okay, but okay, whatever, Aman. I'm just saying.
How many times has your grandma been like, that's my baby. My baby can do this. My baby can do like that's grandma. Like, of course, grandma's gonna say that.
Okay, so
like, look, I'm not. I feel like I'm starting to come off as like a Blue hater.
No, you're not. You're not. I like this point of view though.
I just don't see it that way. I just tend to see it as more of just like Beyonce is sharing her life with us. She's sharing her family with us, and Blue Ivy wanted to be a part of it. And Blue Ivy was like, I want to do what my mom does. I want to be on stage. I want to dance. And Beyonce was like, okay, well, if you want to, then you're going to have to work for it. And I think that's what we're seeing. I don't necessarily think that translates into she wants to be like her mother in that regard. I think that it just means that she's grown up watching her mother perform, and I think that she wanted something like that, right? And I don't necessarily know if this is a big soft rollout for Blue Ivy's career. I'm just not convinced of that yet. Okay. I think that the next album, I'm still sort of more on the lines of like, this is going to be her rock album. I think that the trilogy, in order for it to be a cohesive trilogy, I think it is about, again, reclaiming music that was once Black and then popularized by white people. We had the house music, we had the country music. I think it's going to be rock and roll next. And I think that you could be right in the regard of like, this will be the last time that we see her tour in the same way in which we've seen her tour before. I also agree with you that I think this was a lot more laid back of a performance. Beyonce is a woman of a certain age. She's not old by any means, but after performing for so long, one's body does start to break down. You cannot continue to do all the dips and tricks that you were doing when you were 19 years old. Like, you just don't got it like that no more, sis. And that's fine. That's a beautiful part of growing up and growing older. Like, you just can't, like, your knees ain't gonna be kneeing like they be kneeing, okay? Like, I bent down the other day to pick up a fucking toothbrush that I dropped. I had to throw it away. I'm pissed off about it. And my knee popped. and I'm 31. Okay, so like it, you know, she's Beyonce is a lot of things. She is close to godhood. Okay, I'm kidding. She's not, but she is human. Okay, she is a human being. She cannot do it all, and I think that we are beginning to see the beginnings of her slowing it on down. She's going to continue. I think she's going to continue to perform for the rest of her life, but obviously she is not going to be the beyond. Like legends, they live and they die in like not like physically, but in the sense of like in the general zeitgeist. Like and I say this all the time, I'm just so happy that I am alive in the cultural zenith of Beyonce, because we also recognize that her time is coming. Like she's not always going to be the Beyonce that she is now. And the next generation of legends and icons are already here, right? So
in boot camp.
you
It's beautiful. But again, it's like I also sometimes feel like some of the previous icons and legends that we have had, they're kind of like the endings ain't that great. And so I am hoping that like Beyonce the ending will match, like it will be like what it should be. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want her going out like Prince, MJ, Whitney, like, you know what I mean? Like I want her to be protected. And so, but anyway, but yeah, Cowboy Carter was amazing, and it makes me really feel like, and mind you, she over there in London right now, child, switching outfits, bringing the twins back, bringing some more Renaissance back. Is really having me look at these tickets like, what's up with Atlanta? What's up with Las Vegas? But our final topic that I do want to touch on, and I think it's just interesting, and I said I got to talk to Aman about this, but earlier this week, the Recording Academy has announced that they are splitting the best country album into two in 2026. Best Contemporary Country Album, formerly Best Country Album, and a new Best Traditional Country Album. So now we're having a new Best Contemporary and a new Best Traditional Album. Now, let's also keep in mind that last year, the first Black woman to ever win Best Country Album of the Year was Mother Beyoncé. And, some people had a lot to say about this. And now we have the Grammys saying they're going to be two new categories, Best Traditional and Best Contemporary. If this is not an example of when we say moving the goalpost, right? That's one. And two, it's just like,
okay, so okay, I'm trying to be nuanced about it, right? Because
okay,
it's not like this is not something that they've done before in other cats, right? Like they've done it in the pop music category, like more traditional pop versus like more modernized contemporary pop albums. They've done that before.
You mean R&B?
They've also done it in R&B where it's like more traditional R&B versus like sort of like the neo soul. I'm kind of butchering the actual names of the categories, but the point being in that they have made steps to differentiate between what we've traditionally thought of as a genre to include more contemporary stylings within that genre. So in that respect, is it something new from the Grammys? No. But the timing obviously is strange. But I kind of liked one take that I saw online where they were basically like, well, that just means that Beyonce has the last true country Grammy. And all the other ones are just going to be these specialized versions of the award. And I kind of like the prestige of that, as it were. But again, like, I think I think we're just going to end up seeing a lot more of what we have seen in other categories, where it seems like an artist that looks a certain way ends up winning this type of award more so than the other. And so if someone were to if someone were to, like, if a black person or a person of color, someone that's not white, were to make a country album that was still, like, sonically more traditionally country, I think the true test of whether or not this is in good faith is if those people end up still getting nominated in the contemporary country album award, like they did with Rihanna time after time after time, where she's making straight up pop music a lot of the time, but they kept putting her in urban contemporary R&B. Like, are y'all just gonna start doing that now? Like, and what would Cowboy Carter have been in had this award been separated as it were now? Would y'all have done traditional country, or would y'all have done contemporary country? And I think we kind of know what they would have done. And in some sense, I get it, because yes, there is a lot of genre bending that Beyonce does, right? Like there was a lot of trap influence in this album, which isn't necessarily traditionally country, although one could make the argument that it is. It's just black country.
Where do you think they would put a Post Malone album?
That's what I'm also saying. It's like, so are y'all gonna put him in this new category for his next album? Because if you don't we're gonna be raising eyebrows. Like, is this all just to assuage the feelings that I'm sure some of your white country lovers were like, it just doesn't feel right that, like, Beyonce's album won country? Because when I listen to that album, it doesn't really remind me of, like, what I grew up listening to in country. Is that what this is all about? Or is this really like a good faith thing where you're trying to open up as many categories as possible? Because given your track record, it's kind of hard to believe the latter. It just kind of feels like this is just a way for you to appease
the voting
white
members.
Country peoples.
Right.
And it's like, okay, fine, I guess. This is why nobody F's with y'all anyway. This is why no one even be listening to country like that. Country music got thrown back into the mainstream for the past year and a half now because of one Beyonce. Okay? Ain't nobody checking for y'all otherwise. And this is why. Because y'all are so... I saw a clip of K. Michelle the other day.
You saw that clip.
Yes.
I'm so happy you saw that, because that's what you be doing. The way she got that reporter together, and okay, but I'm gonna let you talk, because it's like, if anybody knows of anything country, K. Michelle, she's from Memphis, Tennessee. Prior to her getting into R&B, and mind you, I love K. Michelle. She's always been okay. But go ahead, sorry, because
that's basically it. Like,
and
y'all can't, like, I don't, like, it's just nothing but, like, not being able to step outside of yourself and wanting country music to be this one specific sounding thing, and if it deviates from that in any way, it's not real and it's disrespectful to the genre. It's all this, that, and the third, and it's like, no, y'all just don't have any taste.
It's not even you don't have any taste. It really goes back to nobody is free on stolen land. And you can't say what is traditional country, because we know the origins of country music. And the first country family that y'all like to deem as the first country family, they got they rhythm and they got that from a slave that was in their home. That, like, it's like, what the are we talking about?
And she does country a lot better than some of y'all's biggest, like, icons, and she's been doing it for so long. That's the thing. Like, but Beyonce, this is not like country, or Cowboy Carter is not her first rodeo, literally.
And I
think I talked about this before. Do y'all realize that Irreplaceable is a country song? That is a country song.
That information, like, because first of all, she ate up Cowboy Carter, but in one of the lines is like, she's saying, like, I've been country, have y'all never seen Bugaboo video from Destiny's Child? Did y'all see what they had on? These girls are country girls. That's what y'all used to eat Beyonce and Destiny's Child up about, because they had these accents, and they was like, oh, that y'all some, like, anyway, but it's just crazy. But again, it just kind of just lends
sick
into,
of these
like,
whores.
the times and the realms, and like what we were saying earlier, like why history is so important, why they want to erase history. Right? Like, and again, I really do feel like in country music, this is that erasing the roots of country music. But just interesting. I do think the timing of it is very interesting. But you know, it's been a while since we haven't delivered you some casual tea, so we wanted to make sure that we got a special casual tea in for the month of June. I want to say we'll be back in July, but I don't know if I'm gonna unlock the basement and allow Aman out for July, so we will have to see. But what do you have going on for the rest of the month of June? Where can people follow you? What's the tea with you?
You can follow me everywhere at Aman Adwin. I have been kicking it with Beth over at the RHAP recap for RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 10. It's been a pretty fun season thus far, and we're just chucking along. And of course, Big Brother will be starting up in a little less than a month now. So I'm sure you'll be able to check me out for this season's coverage all summer long, baby.
Yes. Wait. Oh my God. Wait. Because before we go though, there is any tea? What's the rumblings? It seems like Big Brother is coming back a lot earlier. Like what's
I don't have any tea, at least not yet. That could very well change right after we get done recording. But as of right now, we don't really know too much. We just have a premiere date in July 10th. Julie is starting to rev up her social media a little bit. We're starting to see a little bit of the imagery from this upcoming season, and so people are trying to sort of understand what the theme may be. We saw like a little logo with like a manila folder, and like it seems like it could be like maybe like 1970s or 1960s spy theme, something like that. We'll see. Don't know too much. All we know is that it is going to be an all new cast and no returnees, nothing like that. So I'm sure we will find something out in the next couple of weeks for sure.
Well, the next couple of weeks will be here. So yes,
yeah.
We will absolutely. Okay. So you covering Big Brother? Are you still on Twitch? What you doing?
I have not been on Twitch. I have been because I did recently go back to school, so like I've been sort of just like trying to get back into that. And studying takes a lot of time when you've been out of school for quite some time. So yeah, that's kind of it for me. I'm kind of like low key this summer, just Big Brother, just Drag Race. Oh, I also have my Big Brother podcast with Matt Lagore. Almost forgot about that. You would kill me if I didn't talk about that. So check out the Diary Room. We are still going strong with that. Coming up on a year of that podcast. So,
and is that Patreon? Where can we get that at?
Yes, we can get the Diary Room anywhere that you get your podcast. We do have a Patreon group where if you wanted extra episodes and if you wanted the ability to vote for your favorite players to have the chance to make a comeback if they have not made it to the second round, that is all available on our Patreon as well. But yes.
Well, thank you, Aman. It's always so good to see you. And we will do our best to be back next month with some casual tea. But this has been your June 2025 casual tea. We will see you soon. Be safe, be well. Bye.
Bye.
It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to unwind, you better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to get your snack, you better hurry right back though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.